You've heard my price. If it's too high, then we've nothing left to discuss. You think I run a charity? I have investors unlike you. And they expect a return. Call me when you're serious. Payment received. I'll bring my best man.
Wamai, prep for phase 2.
Not long after enlisting in the Indian Armed Forces, Kali was disappointed to learn that women were not allowed to serve in combat units. Prior to 1992, women within the military served in auxiliary services only, undertaking more of a support role. Shortly after leaving the military, Kali used her family's wealth and prestige to establish her own private security company that would operate inside India's borders. To widen the reach of her clientele, Kali then founded the Private Military Company NIGHTHAVEN to operate overseas. This organization regularly negotiates multi-million-dollar contracts across the globe. In 2019, Six invited NIGHTHAVEN to join Team Rainbow. Officially, this was in response to NIGHTHAVEN answering a distress call on the supertanker Argus, where pirates attacked the ship and threatened to kill everyone on board. Because of NIGHTHAVEN, the pirates were successfully neutralized without incident. However, unbeknownst to them, and secretly, the real reason Six invited Kali and Wamai was to prevent any opposing organization from hiring NIGHTHAVEN. And in this way, not only could these skills be utilized, but they could also be kept under close scrutiny.
What's our status?
They seem very committed, and they've got another firecracker.
Not for long.
Jaimini Kali Mohan Shah, codenamed Kali, is an attacking operator in Team Rainbow. Born to exceptionally wealthy parents, money has never been an obstacle for Kali. As with wealth comes a vast number of opportunities and resources. Therefore, it should be of no surprise that she was able to achieve her goals from a very young age. Reality came crashing down when she tried to join the military, and discovered that women were not entitled to serve in combat units. Her interest in martial arts had led her to enlist, and despite all of her money and social influence, she had finally found an obstacle between her and something that she wanted. Because of this, she decided to create her own private security company, which would operate within India's borders, and subsequently, she then started an overseas private military company. Kali, with the advantage of her considerable wealth, has managed to work her way around the laws that have kept her from her goals. She has become an unstoppable force in a largely static, male-dominated world. Her viciousness is legendary, and she is considered a valuable resource that the Indian government cannot do without. As a child, she was given everything that she wanted, without question from her parents, and she is both arrogant and ambitious, but not without good reason. She drives those under her command above and beyond their psychological and physical breaking points, in order to help them achieve greater heights than they would have ever thought possible. Because of this, she excels as a leader. In fact, those that complete the training are often then inducted into her inner circle, a society of protectors, as she calls it. To the exceptionally rich, borders are merely suggestions, and for this reason it can be difficult to tell whether she has any sort of patriotism. But the name Kali and her brutality towards those who cross her imply a connection with her country and religion. She is said to be nicknamed under the Hindu goddess of death, time, and doomsday, who is often associated with sexuality and violence, but is also considered a strong mother figure and symbol of motherly love. Her lack of clarity in regards to her motivations has already put her at odds with Specialist Ash, as Ash is someone who lives by a very strict set of rules, and Kali's very existence calls many of Ash's beliefs into question. It's important to mention that Kali has a number of strengths, and she hasn't just sat back the whole time and coasted through life because of her family's success. She is also brave and cunning, smart and driven. Her training systems are relentless, and are supplemented by some of the best trainers and equipment that money can buy. Kali is equipped with an under-barrel mechanical projectile that explodes within a set radius. It is used to destroy gadgets on both sides of breakable and reinforced surfaces. Called the LV Explosive Lance, it isn't your typical explosive. It can breach barricades and hatches, but it can also destroy castles' armor panels. However, these are not its main functions. Its main role is to destroy gadgets with a light explosion within a set radius. When used on a breakable wall, it will create a small hole. When shot at a reinforced wall, however, it simply lodges in the surface. In both cases, it destroys all gadgets on either side of the wall. Yuji Muchoki Furaha, codenamed Wamai, is a defending operator in Team Rainbow. Born in Kenya, he is part of a fishing family and spent a vast amount of his childhood hunting sharks and collecting lost treasures from the ocean floor of Lamu Archipelago. It became apparent from very early on that Wamai was able to stay underwater for far longer periods of time than his peers. A number of medical tests were performed on him and revealed an exceptional morphology in regards to how his body exchanges gases. This only helped to further enhance his long-held belief that he was an exceptional being compared to others around him. Armed with this blessing, Wamai put his skills to good use and joined the Kenyan Navy, and later, the Kenyan Special Boat Unit. During this time, he became well known by a number of prominent Navy generals, along with people from the scientific community, for his record-breaking freedives. He later transitioned to Nighthaven, drawn in by the promise of more downtime and the use of a private boat to take him to wherever his next dive site might be. There is certainly an out-of-this-world feeling to Specialist Wamai, and the name Wamai means to come from the water, and it's fair to say that talking to him is like talking underwater. Words are exchanged, however it's uncertain as to what he really means. He has the capability to move freely from one abstract topic to another, although this isn't to say that he's oblivious to the fact that others are likely to get lost trying to follow his thought process, and will often rein it in when he seems to veer off course too much for his audience. Armed with the ability to conceptualize in a 3D space around him, both vertically and horizontally, his unaccustomed approach often results in strategies that are completely alien to others. This type of thinking is usually only seen in the most obsessive fighter pilots. Interestingly though, even with all his unconventional intelligence, he for some reason still has trouble grasping the inner workings of himself and others. Wamai is a talented operator, intelligent, capable, and unpredictable. He has the ability to put a room at ease with his cool and calm collected nature, which has proven to be invaluable in tough situations. Yet no one ever has the sense that they understand the whole picture when conversing with him. He has a strong belief that his life is in service to his own spirituality, and is constantly striving for the pursuit of complete zero or nothingness. Like the nitrogen that must disperse back into the diver's body before resurfacing, Wamai's true nature is widespread. To define him would be to limit him, something that he would despise more than anything. Wamai is equipped with an adhesive gadget that affects and captures an opponent's projectile, and then self-destructs to detonate it. The magnet system is a throw-in adhesive gadget. It sticks to surfaces and walls. Its function is to attract an opponent's projectile into its position, reset the detonation timer, and then exploding that projectile. This way, not only can Wamai make attackers' grenades and projectile gadgets useless, but he can also use strategic placement to turn those projectiles against them. I've got to be honest, Wamai creeps me out a little. I mean, I like weird, but that dude is next level. I've been keeping a pretty close eye on all the information coming out regarding the future of Siege, and I'm certainly happy to see the amount of lore and story they seem to be including. For my next Siege video, I'm going to be taking it back a little closer to home, the Australian Special Air Service Regiment, or SASR. Surely I won't butcher these names too bad. Actually, it'll probably be a bit of a challenge for me not to add too much of an Aussie twang. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please check out my various social media platforms and throw me a like, follow, subscribe, or swipe right to feed my fragile content creator ego. Cheers!